Greetings, friend, and welcome. Today we are going to be comparing our two short paragraphs of the Latin and the Greek text together. This is going to be verse 22 and then the paragraph of verse 23 and 24. We're going to see how well the Latin does. This is the extent of this section, so this is one single Contextus Rex that we need to do for this one, and then I believe we've only got one paragraph left in this chapter. And now that I look at this, I realize I still haven't looked up how to properly spell Judean. Let's move on. After these things, aorist tense, the Jesus came, and the disciples his, into the unknown word land. After these things, we've got plural and plural, that's good. We could have either perfect tense or present tense for this one. This was aorist, so perfect tense is the correct one there. Let's go ahead and mark that. Came, not comes. Perfect, not present. Okay, we've got plural, disciples, his, and his, into that place, land. So far, so good. And ake, iluk, good. He was spending time, wasting time, delaying, or residing in the imperfect tense. And we have imperfect tense, so good. He was keeping back, delaying, or staying. So since we've got delaying and residing, here's two possible meanings for diatriben. Demorabatur is, I think, a good selection there. And they have the same tense, so that's nice. With them, plural, and he was baptizing imperfect tense here, and imperfect tense, active and active. Good. That is, why did I mark that passive? That has to be deponent, based on its meaning. Oops. Moving on. So verse 22 is perfectly fine. I hope that is all visible. So then we've got de kai, the John, in imperfect tense. Autem et John, imperfect tense, so that's good. Present active participle. I think that might be a first time where the Latin has used a present participle when the Greek has. Normally it's a relative clause. Interesting. In einon, indeclinable. Iuxta, treated as a preposition with salem. Engus, treated as a preposition with silem, so that's good. Because, plural, neutered, much water, imperfect, and then adverb. Because, plural, feminine, I notice now that I didn't decline that at all, but whatever. This is a common word. Plural, imperfect, and iluk, so that's good. And imperfect tense, they were coming near and were being baptized, imperfect, passive. And imperfect, they were coming to, so that's good. And they were being baptized, passive, imperfect tense, so those match up. Nice. Neck doom. Is that visible? I can barely see my camera. There's a roof in the way. For not yet, imperfect tense, perfect passive participle. For not yet, perfect passive participle, pluperfect tense. That's interesting. In prison, John, and John in prison. So here we have this verb and participle, which I was treating as a pluperfect tense together, and a paraphrastic way of the pluperfect tense. And then here we have Jerome translating it, so we do have an actual pluperfect form of this verb. So if I am correct in how I translated this, then that would mean I at least am in agreement with how Jerome is treating this. However, if I am completely incorrect in how I'm handling this, then Jerome also would be incorrect in how he's handling this. It should have just been erat, without the perfect stem right there. So I don't see any problem with that, mostly because I hope I'm correct. And, yeah, I hope my memory isn't going. That's one of the big reasons. So, yeah, I think that's fine. It's from what I remember about how these things work. That is the right translation, and this is a good way for the Latin to do it, especially since these things are often just normal adjectives. Their tense doesn't matter at all. So then, taking a look at all of this, there is not a single instance I can think of, unless both of us are wrong, where the Latin has an issue with, contrary to what the Greek says. So yeah, this looks fantastic. I think this is the best the Latin has ever done, and probably because it's such a tiny section. Well, I'm going to give this my completely made-up grade of A+. And there we have it. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope taking a look at this has been helpful for you and not entirely boring. One day I will look up how to spell Judea correctly, or Judean, figure out what those actually are, but not this day. Farewell. Hey, not asleep yet? That's okay. I've got tons of other equally sleep-inducing videos for you to watch. Check them out.